Guys, today I'm going to do a class focused on SI pain or sacroiliac pain. You can read more about SI pain in the video description or in the link to my blog post below. This class is also helpful for anyone that's experiencing any lower back pain or hip dysfunction. Right now we're just taking a lying position on the back. And just go ahead and start to breathe into your belly, keeping the knees bent and the feet flat to the floor. And when you're ready, just spread the feet apart and start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Just letting them rock left to right and massaging your hips against the floor beneath you. Just taking a couple more breaths to rock out knees. And when you're ready, come back to feet to the floor. We're going to start to tilt the pelvis, so go ahead and push the back of the tailbone into the floor, lifting the lower back off the ground. And then exhale, push the back of the navel into the ground and lift the tailbone off the floor. So again, just like cat and cow with your back. Inhale, push the tailbone into the ground and arch your spine. And exhale, round the back and push the back of the navel to the floor. Inhale again to lift. And exhale to press the back into the ground and lift the tailbone. Just tilting the pelvis a couple more times, just rocking the hips out, back of the navel, and then tailbone presses down. And now we're going to start to move the hips side to side. So maybe hands to your hips, lifting left hip and then right hip. I like to keep my feet pressing into the ground as I do this to keep the knees stable. Pushing left hip and then right hip into the ground. And just do that a couple of times to kind of loosen out the pelvis, pushing left hip down, right hip lifts, and right hip down, left hip lifts. And then start to move the hips in a circle, so it's a little bit more difficult. Just keeping in mind, do the best you can, pushing one hip into the ground, then the back of the navel, then the other hip, and then the tailbone. So rolling out the pelvis as best you can to isolate those muscles. Pushing the back of the navel, the left hip, the tailbone, the right hip, and then the back of the navel again. If you can, see if you can reverse the direction of the circle, going the opposite way, rolling out back of navel, hip, tailbone, opposite hip. And again, just come back to center. Roll the knees side to side, just windshield wiper, feet nice and wide, knees rocking left to right. And stay breathing into your belly. I'm going to start to just lower the left knee to meet the right foot and see if you can keep the right knee lifted. Good. And opposite side, left knee to right foot, right knee stays lifted. So now we're isolating that internal rotation of the hips. We're going to bring a belt around the thighs. You can use a strap or again just a belt at home. Tighten it so that it's hip width apart. And then once you place it around the middle of your thighs, I'm going to start to press into the soles of the feet and lift up into a bridge pose. So you're using the outer muscles of your hips and your thighs to stabilize the pelvis. As you inhale, lift, press the knees apart, activate those outer thighs, and then lower down. Inhale, lift the hips again, lift the back off the floor, press the knees apart, and then slowly come back down. Tailbone last. Inhale, lifting hips again, press those knees apart, hold it. So see if you can isometrically hold those muscles, stabilize the pelvis, and then come on down. Good. Go ahead and take the strap off of the legs, and we're just going to bring the feet towards the face, knees wide, spread the knees apart with your elbows as much as you can in that reclined Baddha Konasana, and maybe rock from side to side, just massaging again each side of the hips. Good. So let's come down. Now we're going to do the opposite with bridge pose. So we're going to place the block between the thighs. If you have a pillow, you can use that too. We're going to push into the soles of the feet, lift the hips up into that bridge pose again, hold, and slowly then come back down to the floor. Tailbone last. Inhale again, lift the hips, lift the back, Exhale, slowly come down. One more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Hold. This time, squeezing, hugging that block in together. Stabilize. Deep breaths. On down. And now let's go ahead and do the same bound ankle stretch. So bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, and again, pull the feet towards the face, stretching out the hip flexors and the inner thighs. Rock the hips side to side. You can even come into happy baby pose, stacking the feet on top of the knees, opening out the feet. Good. Bring the right knee into your chest. Hold that right knee into the armpit as you let the left leg extend. Good. And see if you can push that knee into your hands. Maybe an isometric hold there as you push that hand into knee. Little resistance. Exhale, left knee into your left armpit. Hug it in to stretch that hip out. And then isometric hold. Push the knee into the hands. See if you can find that strength and stabilization through the hip. Good. Slowly release. Take a big inhale, stretch out the arms, stretch out the legs, the back off the floor. Just get your breath back down into the belly. And when you're ready, let's bring the knees into chest, rock it on up. And you're gonna come over to a tabletop position. So stacking hands underneath the shoulders, knees under hips. To extend out our left leg from here. So pull your belly in, hips level, bend your left knee, heel to the sky, and then draw that knee into your chest. Inhale out to the left side with that knee, and then bring the heel back to the sky. So we'll do that a few more times. Knee into chest, out to the left, and up to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, navel to spine. Inhale out to the left, hold the hip. Back up to the sky, activate the glute. Exhale, knee to chest again. Knee to the left. And heel to the sky. One more time, knee into chest. Out to the left. Heel to the sky. Pulse it up for a count of 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax it back down. And take a little rest back in child's pose. So go ahead and sit your hips back to your heels. Widen your knees out if you'd like. And let your head rest down to the mat or on top of your hands. Take a couple breaths into the waist. And start to stretch the arms forward. Come back up into that tabletop position. You're going to extend out the right foot now. So bend the right knee. Keep the hips level. Bring the knee into chest, out to the right side, and back up to the sky. Again, knee into chest, hold that navel in, out to the right, and big circle back up to the sky. Again, knee into chest, roll and round the back. Inhale out to the right, up to the sky, and big exhale, knee into chest. One more time, out to the right, up to the sky. Now hold and pause. We're going to pulse it up for 15, 14, 13, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Activate that glute. Good. And go ahead. Start to come back down. And sit back into child's pose when you're ready. Just let the hips relax. And again, place the hand underneath on top of your hands if you like. 3 rounds of breath to regain fullness in the waist, fullness in the ribs, 3-dimensional breath. And then inhale, come back up into tabletop. Extend your left leg back. Make sure your hips are even. I like to place my right hand behind me to make sure my hips are even. And then reach the right arm out. Counterbalancing, reaching arm and knee. Let's bring elbow to knee now. Reach out. Exhale, knee into elbow round. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, rounding the spine, knee to elbow. Reach out. Exhale, knee to elbow. One last time, reach out. Exhale, knee into elbow, crunch in. Reaching out and holding. Extending through arm and leg. Good. Go ahead and replace knee and hand. Reach out with your right foot. Make sure the pelvis is again equal, hips are level. And then start to reach out with that left arm. Extend through hand and leg. And then exhale, knee to elbow, rounding spine. Again, knee into elbow, round. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, knee to elbow, hug. Inhale, reach out. Exhale again, navel to spine, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach out. One last time, knee, hug in. Reach out, extend, push through your arm and leg. And relax. Both knees and hands down to the ground. And we transition to the elbows. Let the elbows rest underneath your shoulders and the legs extend back behind you into Sphinx pose. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears and your chest broadens out. Relax your glutes and relax your legs and take a deep breath into the belly to feel that belly press against the floor. We're giving a little bit of traction into the lower back here. Good. Go ahead and release off of your elbows when you're ready. Let your head come down to your hands. Take a couple of breaths to rest. And let's take the left foot, bend the left knee, reach back with that left hand and grab a hold of the foot. We're bending the knee and stretching the quad. Let's do it on the right side. Reach back, bend right knee, pull that knee into your glute or in the outside of the hip. Stretch into that quad muscle and release. Now we're going to go into some variations of locust pose. So reach your hands back by your hips, fingertips reaching towards the toes, and now lift your chest, keeping your toes planted to the floor. Good. Hold, and then if it feels okay for your back, then start to lift your feet up off the ground. Exhale, release back down, relax. Now we're going to take the right hand forward. Left arm stays back. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms off the floor, and release back down. If it feels okay, bend your left knee, reach back for the left foot, and lift the entire body off the floor this time. And relax. Other side. Left arm in front, right hand back, and lift the chest, lift the legs off the floor if you can. Bend the right knee, reach back for the right foot. Inhale, half bow pose. Reach out with arm and leg. Again, if it doesn't feel good to you, you can always take just without the leg bent. And release as you come down. You can windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Just let the pelvis relax and release. And taking the hands back by the heart. Big inhale, lift your chest into cobra. If again it doesn't feel right, you can keep your elbows bent in half cobra or baby cobra. If it feels good to you to extend your elbows, do so. On your exhale, I'm going to sit the hips back, pull the belly in to come back into child's pose, and let the body rest again, round the back. Just allow your body to relax and take a few more breaths. Feel that three-dimensional quality of each breath. Really targeting that lower back as you breathe in and out with ease. And when you're ready, you'll start to walk the arms out to the left to stretch into the lats and the upper back, upper shoulder, and down into the right side of the hip. So sometimes I like to stack my left arm on top of the right to feel that stretch even more. And then walk it over to your right side. Again, right hand can place on top of the left. Sink into your left hip and feel that length through the left side body. And go ahead and come back up, back into downward dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, pull the belly in, shoulders down away from the ears, hands wide as shoulders. Start to walk yourself up into a squat now. So we're tracking the knees right in line with the middle toes as you come into that squat and sink your hips back and down. Doesn't matter if your heels are lifted or if your heels are down. Just focus on your hips. Press your elbows into your knees and your knees into your elbows so you feel a strength, an isometric hold. Good, and release. Let your arms lengthen out in front of you. Walk your fingertips out. And sit your tailbone back as far as it can go. Push into your heels. And now start to lift off, activating your belly, your back, reaching arms out in front of you and holding that flat back. Good. Keep the back nice and long, core engaged, and your hips strong. Good. Deep inhale, exhale to release. Come on down and push the elbows into your knees. Again, elbows into knees, knees into elbows. I like to do it on the inside and then on the outside. Okay, come back to center. Bring yourself into a forward fold and release, toes forward. If you need to, you can always place your hands onto a block for more support if you can't quite touch your floor. And just let your head dangle. Let your arms wrap around each other. Just holding onto elbows, maybe swing a little bit side to side to release the low spine. We always want to keep our knees bent when we're in that forward fold just to protect the back there. Okay. Inhale, slowly roll yourself up with your hands to your thighs. Bring your shoulders back and down to a couple of balances. So stabilize on your left leg first, and we're going to start to bring the right knee into the chest. So go ahead and grab a hold of that knee, pull it as close into your chest as you can. Now we're going to activate the core and the hip flexor. So slowly release that knee and see if you can just keep it lifted as high as you can. This says a lot about our hip flexor strength. Good. Release that foot back down. Stabilize on your right. Lift your left knee into your chest. Hug it in. Now try to keep that knee lifted as we release the arms. Inhale, rise and pause. Toes flex to your face. Good. And release back down. Into the front of the mat again. We're just going to bend our right knee. Stabilize on your left leg. Reach back for the top of the foot or the ankle. Keep your hips forward, your knees together, and then gradually lift the left arm. So push into the back of your foot with your hand. Foot to hand, push hard. That foot comes away from your body, and then slowly release back down to the floor. Shake it out, go to the opposite side. Bend your left knee, reach back for the top of the foot or the ankle. Push your knees together, your belly in and chest, ribs up. Good. Reach the right hand to the sky. Now push the left foot into your left hand as you reach forward with the right and dancer pose. Pause. Keep pushing that foot away from your back. And slowly release. Good. Shake it out. And come all the way up. Take a little back bend at the top. And exhale, forward fold down to the floor. Relax. And come into a standing twist. So grab your block or a book. Bend your knees one at a time. And keep the right knee bent. We're just going to straighten out that left leg. Bring your left hand behind your back and open your chest to twist. Do the opposite. Bend your left knee. Straighten out the right leg. Right hand behind the back to twist. Good. Go ahead and come back to center. Sit low into your hips. Do the same squat exercise. So push your elbows into your knees and your knees to your elbows. Hold that isometric strength. And now go to the other side. Bring the elbows on the outsides of the thighs. Push your knees into your elbows. Good. And release. Walk your hands out in front of you. Push your weight back into your heels and drop your sit bones. On your inhale, reach your right hand and your left arm out. Nice flat back. Keep pushing weight back to your heels. And slowly let go. Both hands come to the floor. Forward fold, toes forward. Relax your head. Another couple of breaths. You want to grab onto your legs, you can. Inhale, lift flat back, come all the way up. Nice. Bring your hands onto the lower back or the back of the hips and just gently push the hips forward, just enough until you feel that back bend. Open your heart, broaden your collarbones. If you want to let your head come back, you can, or you can tuck your chin in towards your chest. Depends on how your neck feels there. Okay, just enough until you feel that back bend that feels comfortable for you. And slowly come back up. Exhale, forward fold, tilt the hips back, let the head come down. Interlace the hands behind your lower back, and we just start to stretch the chest out. So reach the arms overhead. I like to shake my head out here, let the neck hang loose. And come back down, hands to the floor, step it down, bending the knees to tabletop. Out the hips, so reach the right leg out. Exhale, bring it behind your left thigh and start to move your hips back towards your heels. You want to spread your feet out to the sides, you can. And go back as far as you feel comfortable with until you feel that stretch in the outer glutes and thighs. Take a deep breath and slowly uncross your legs back to tabletop. Let's do the other side. Kick the left leg back, cross it behind your right thigh, and just move your feet out to the side as you sit way back into your hips. Stretch those outer glutes and thighs. Nice, keep breathing, coming back through center. Let's go ahead and come onto our bellies. We're gonna grab our bolster here, or if you have a pillow, that works too. Just something to place underneath your chest to make it a little bit more comfortable. Once you're ready, let your chest come down on top of that bolster pillow, and I'm just gonna let the belly relax, the hips relax, and release the hip flexors. So we're gonna take the left leg out to a half frog position. Reach the left knee out to the side. If you don't feel very much of a stretch there, you're always welcome to kick out your left foot out to the left side there. Try to get your knee up really high, your leg up really high, and drop both hip points into the floor. And then just keep hugging onto your pillow or your bolster, feeling the belly press against it as you breathe. And relax and release your hips. It's a very passive stretch, so it's not going to be very intense, but we're stretching into the fascia, connective tissues around the hips and pelvis. You might even feel it in your inner thighs if they're tight. And then see if you can come up onto your elbows to deepen the stretch. Elbows onto the bolster pillow. Good, and walk that left foot back in. And I'm going to come over to a side bend now. So bring the bolster of the pillow against your left hip. And start to extend your arms over top. I like to put a block or a book underneath my head too, just for more support. The left arm can just lie out in front of your body, and the right arm can reach overhead. Feel you to extend your legs here in that side lying stretch. We're just making space in the waist as much as we can. If you don't have any props, don't worry about it. You can do the same stretch on your back too, and just lie down on the back. Reach your arms out to the right and your legs out to the right. So you keep working into that left side waist. And release into the hips, release along your shoulders, letting your shoulders melt to the floor. You can cross your left foot on top of your right if you'd like. And just feel that length build in your side waist. Everything heavy, back heavy to the floor. Again, you can do either one of those poses, those side stretches. You're going to come over to the other side, so bring that bolster pillow underneath your chest. I'm going to turn around so you can see. And once you're ready, just let your right leg now come out to the right side. And if you'd like to, again, you can feel free to kick that right foot out to the right more, or lift the knee up a little bit more to get into those hips. And release the frontal points of the hips to the floor. So you're letting go of the hip flexors, letting go of any tension around the lower belly or the inner thighs. A lot of stuff gets built up when we sit for long periods of time. The hip flexors get really tense. So just trying to drop into a bit of softness and stillness here. Take another few breaths in that pose. Just trying to let the hips go. And then see if you can come up onto your elbows. Maybe lift yourself up a little taller. Feel a deeper stretch in the inner thighs and the hips. And then let's go ahead and roll over into a side stretch, either side lying pose or banana pose. Either way, if you have props, you can certainly use that bolster or the pillow underneath your left side waist. And if you don't have props, again, feel free to come into banana pose. This time the arms are going to walk out to our left side, and the legs are going to walk out to the left side. And keep your back flat to the floor if you're in this pose. You just want to focus on the stretch along the right side waist. Shoulders heavy. Feel free to cross the right foot on top of the left or hold onto your elbows. And just feel that length build along your sides. Letting go with each exhalation. Letting those tissues start to open out. Nice. When you're ready, deep breath to come back to center. Just place your feet to the floor, back flat against the ground. You roll the knees into your chest and take a couple circles out with the knees in both directions. Just massaging the backs of the hips against the floor, the sacrum against the floor. Beautiful. Now we're going to grab our strap and place the strap around both soles of the feet. And we're just going to pull the legs in towards the chest, just stretching in the hamstrings a little bit there. Release your right leg out of the strap and just hold. Now focus on the left hamstring, the left back of thigh, and just allow that stretch to soften into the body. Taking a couple deep breaths here just to release that hamstring. Press the lower back against the floor. And let's go ahead and switch legs. So bring your right foot into the strap, place the left foot onto the floor. With the knee bent, it's going to be a little bit easier to stretch that right hamstring. See if you can draw that foot close towards your face, again, until you feel the stretch. Sometimes I like to bring the strap overhead a little bit or hold it close, whatever feels best to you. You can also, again, use that belt if you'd like. And when you're ready, go ahead and release that stretch. We're going to just turn over into a twist. So scoot your hips to the right, knees to the left. Turn your chest out to face the ceiling so that your heart is splayed open. And then transition over to the other side. Scoot your hips to the left, knees drop off to the right, opening the chest. Again, relax your shoulders onto the floor as much as you can in this twist. Nice. Come back through center and just roll yourself up. Bring yourself to a seat. I'm just going to take a lower back twist now. So bring your right knee to meet your left foot and turn yourself back behind you to feel the stretch along your right front thigh. And as you come down, you're going to feel maybe a little compression around that left hip. Maybe some release around the lower back in that twist. Feel free to walk your chest all the way down to the floor, or you can keep yourself lifted on your arms. Just another few rounds of breath here, just releasing into that twist. Keep pressing the left foot into the right knee. Good. Slowly come back up to center. We'll just switch sides. Right foot to meet the left knee now. Turn yourself back as you lie onto your right hip, and then walk as far back as you can, bringing the rib cage away from the hips. You can lower down again onto your elbows or down to your chest. Stretching into the front of the left thigh, compressing into the right hip, and elongating the spine. And sinking into what feels comfortable, breathing deep into your waist. rise and fall of the breath. Good, and slowly start to come back up. Just bring your hands back by your chest. Push yourself all the way up to a seat again. You're gonna come over to the wall to finish with, so go ahead and scoot your right hip all the way against the wall. This is usually the easiest way to get up the wall for me. We're gonna start to bring the legs up towards the ceiling and then lie back onto your elbows and scoot your hips as close to the wall as you can. This pose is really good for the lower back too, as long as you're keeping the low back pressed against the floor to support it. Just let your legs extend up nice and relaxed, and then go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. You can push the hands against the knees if you'd like to stretch a little bit more. If you want to strengthen, push the knees into your hands and strengthen that pose a little bit more, especially if you know you have loose ligaments. Okay, go ahead and stretch your legs back up the wall, and then walk your feet out wide, just like you did that squat earlier. We're just going to push the arms against the insides of the knees, and then the knees are going to push against the hands to kind of activate a little bit more in that stretch. Nice, and stretch the legs back up the wall. We're just going to end here. So you're welcome to pause the video at this point and take as much time as you need in this restorative position. Otherwise, just let your elbows stay bent, maybe opening out into cactus. Keep your feet, your legs heavy, resting against the wall, back fully against the floor. And just take a few rounds of breath to release all of that movement and strengthening that we did in the body. Sending your breath all the way down your spine into your pelvis. Maybe feeling that lower belly rise and fall with ease. Slow and steady breaths, just relaxing. And then when you're ready, you can bring your knees into your chest and roll off to the side. Gradually use your hands to pick yourself back up to a comfortable seat. And just allowing your spine to sit tall here. Drop your hips, your pelvis to the floor, your crown of your head reaching up towards the sky. And just observing how you feel. Allow your body to rest easy. Bring the hands together. And honoring the light within ourselves, the same light within each other. Namaste.